There we go. Yeah, all these technical issues. That's what I get for cleaning out my cache and my cookies. All right. So, welcome to the Pirates of Drinax. We're going to be picking up where we left off 2 weeks ago. We had to take off last week due to some minor illnesses. I don't know. How are you feeling, Carrie? Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I think every day that I creep closer to summer, I feel better. But I had been on vacation out in the high desert down here, and there were wildfires. It was a bad time.
Oh,
But
no.
I'm feeling better now.
Yeah, my allergies have been kicking my ass. And I thought I just had, an upset stomach, maybe ate something. No, it was a migraine. And so that was a fun 3 days. But we are back, and we're also welcoming back Rexar. Corey is going to be back to playing with us tonight. If you're watching on Twitch, if you scroll down, you should see some tiles. If you don't see the tiles, click on my profile image and they should pop up. Each of those links to a different site. And tonight we would like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They're just products that we really like. And we would like to thank Dogmight Games. Dogmight Games makes beautiful wooden accessories for your tabletop role-playing games, such as DM screens and dice vaults, dice towers. They've got this really cool thing called the Player Vault. Just a plethora of items. And all of them are customizable. And if you order from them and you customize something, it usually ships within about 6 to 8 weeks. If you order something that they have in stock, if you're just in a hurry to order something, it'll ship within 1 to 2 business days from the time of order. If you've been on the fence about purchasing, now's the time to think about it. We have a 10% code that is good for everything on their site. When you're checking out in your cart, just put in the code FRIEND in all capital letters, and that will get you 10% off your cart. If you're a fan of our Wednesday night Traveler game, we do have a website via Obsidian Portal. The adventure log on that site is written in the manner of Traveler News Service news articles, and it details pretty much the goings-on of the entire Trojan Reach, although, depending on the player's actions, they may get a spotlight article themselves. They frequently appear in the articles not as like the main event of the article, but in some fashion they're in the background doing something. But yeah, if you enjoy that page, please go to the front page and give us a thumbs up. We do like to see the fan links, and we hope you enjoy the content. So where we left off, the party finally made it to the planet Thor with their herd of Awua cattle, and when they were getting ready to drive the cattle down to Rexar's ranch with his wives, Keith met a acquaintance of his, a nemesis, the jerk that the jerk jock that everybody knows from school. He met this guy in training when he was in Chachi La Weedeque's Navy, and this guy, Hiram Newt, left the Navy and became a mercenary, and has recently, or was recently, hired on by the Golden Queen of Yggdrasil to be the Grand Marshal of Yggdrasil subsector. And he came to, he heard some things. And so the Golden Queen has been trying to make mountains out of molehills about the minor skirmishes that happen on Thor, because Thor, it has the total population of this entire planet is only a couple 100,000. I mean, there's barely anybody here. And The rancher, most of the people on this planet are ranchers in one form or another. Very rustic lifestyle. And the Aslan Ihati have come in and kind of taken some land from themselves. And most of the ranchers, the humans on the planet, don't seem to care. They're basically all doing the same thing, and for the most part, they get along. There hasn't been an issue. There has been a couple of duels and minor skirmishes on property lines, mostly because, as we all know, the Aslan can get uppity at the strangest of things that humans just take for granted, and even just colloquialisms, or idioms, the Aslan may find offensive in one way or another. And so there have been a few border skirmishes between plots of land and farmsteads, but for the most part, that's fairly rare. But the Golden Queen has taken these reports and has blown them out of proportion, telling Traveler News Service and pretty much anybody who will listen to her bloviate that there's a range war going on Thor, and that we have to do something about these Aslan Ihati and blah, 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 rabble. Hiram Newt did a little bit of research. So you guys are not necessarily, the Trojan Reach's most wanted, but varying descriptions of the same ship seem to be popping up over and over and over again. It's not like, unless people are a complete dullard, and believe me, there's plenty of those. Unless they're, a total dullard, somebody's going to be able to put two and two together and realize that, you guys are, it doesn't matter how many times you change the color of your ship, they know, hey, that's the same boat, and they're going to recognize it. So he kind of put two and two together and kind of kept that information to himself, evidently. And the Golden Queen sent Hiram Newt to Thor to sort out this whole range war mess. Well, he got here, and as he suspected, you guys were here. Not that you've been goading the Aslan or anything, but he kind of took it to himself, and after doing some investigation, found out about the ranch that you laid waste to with the Aslan hostages, and figured that he was going to arrest you guys. And so he is down here clearly from a bigger ship, but he's down here with a modular cutter, and he had his troops. He also has a very special device from the Sindalian Empire that is basically a landlock system. It locks everybody out of the controls of a Sindalian ship. And this was used by the emperors of Sindal kind of as a last resort kind of situation to avoid those nasty little mutinies and whatnot that go on. We don't need our fleet captains using our own ships against us kind of situation. And he's got one of those. You're not sure exactly where it is, but he has landlocked the Capri Sun. And so, during this gunfight, Keith took a grenade to the face at least once. He got shot at least once. And then the third time, Keith went down. How much attribute points do you have left, Keith?
I have 6 points left.
And what are they in?
In dexterity.
Okay. So Keith is unconscious and potentially bleeding out. And they already kind of have a plan for this, but they can't really do much until people stop shooting at them. This guy down here on the southern part of the road here, he's pretty banged up, and at one point he had said, I surrender, and dropped his Gauss rifle and started running to the south. We'll see if he maintains his cowardice or if he sees things changing now that Keith has been shot. But Captain Beth, what would you like to do? It is your initiative. I mean, you got this guy right here, and he's looking pretty healthy.
Yeah, he needs to be killed really bad.
These guys are also wearing TL-10 combat armor, and they're armed with Gauss rifles, so they can take a punch and they can dish it out.
Okay. Let's see, how far away are we? 30 meters. Okay. I'll go ahead and shoot at him.
Okay.
With combat rifles.
Okay. Are you going on burst on that?
Yes.
Okay.
I got 12.
Oof. All right. So with auto 3, that is a +7 to your roll. He's going to take at least 1 point of damage no matter what.
Uh, 21.
Oof. Ouch. Okay. So... Yikes. So he's going to take 8. Whoops.
I can move a couple squares, right?
Yeah. With your minor action, you can certainly do that.
Okay, it's 3. I don't know. It's what I recall. I think that's all I can do in my turn.
Okay. Yeah, he'll take it from strength. Okay. That hurt him, but he's not dead. So, where'd you want to move?
I moved like 3 squares and kind of in between the guy and Keith.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. He didn't like that. He's going to do it right back at you. Okay. He hits with a 9, so that's a +1 to damage. So +4 to damage. Also, it is AP 5, so it's going to ignore 5 points of your armor. That is 20 points. Let's see. Your battle dress is 22. Is that correct?
Yeah, so -5 is 17, so it'd be 3 points.
Yep, you take 3.
Alright. Ow.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I'm just blowing up my table here. At least it wasn't a drink. Okay, so Keith is unconscious.
He's going to use his turn to convulse.
Keith uses his turn to pump more blood out of the holes in his armor. If this was D&D, you'd get to make a death save, but it's weird. So the combat in Traveler is way more brutal than D&D. But once you're at this point, they don't make you check. So, I mean, you could potentially be unconscious and in a coma with 6 dexterity for the rest of your days. But I don't know. It just seems really weird. And believe me, I checked. I'm like, this has never happened. I don't, I don't know what to do with this. Nope, that's it. So Keith's unconscious. Rexar, you come sauntering back into town from your ranch. What does Rexar want to do? So you got 2 bad guys. This guy here and this guy. Oh, I didn't do anything for this guy. This guy, with his minor action, draws his Gauss pistol and is also going to shoot at Captain Beth. But misses just barely with a 7. So, Rexar, what would you like to do?
Rexar saunters out of the bar with a little cowboy hat on.
A really small one.
Yes. Oh, everyone. Oh my god, what happened? I turned away for 3 seconds.
I can't take you guys anywhere.
He's just gonna look over at the guy to his right. And, here comes the process of figuring out how to do this again. Nope. There we go. How many meters can I move?
You can move 6 meters per minor action.
Gonna move there. I get 2 minor actions, right?
You can either take a significant action and a minor action. So significant action meaning that you could make an attack. Or you can take 3 minor actions.
Can I throw my axe 9 meters?
I would say you probably could, yeah. But, I mean, it's an axe. So it's going to be kind of an improvised weapon. It won't do as much damage as it would if you were wielding it in your hand.
Would it scare the shit out of them, though?
Probably.
That's fine. I'll throw my static reaver at him.
Okay, go ahead and roll 2D and add your Dex mod. Or actually, you can use Athletics Dex if you've got it.
You said Dex mod, not strength?
Correct, because you're throwing it.
Can I add my melee weapons?
No, because you're going ranged with it.
I made a mistake. That's a 7.
Oh, so close. But so this guy sees this axe come flying at him out of the corner of his eye and is like, "Oh Jesus!" And he ducks down.
Like thunder, by the way.
Yeah, it's like, and he ducks down and turns and looks at Rexar with this. I mean, there's a 7-foot cat standing there, and he's got this look of terror in his eyes, and you can see that. This guy's got laser scorches on his armor and bullet holes. He's taken some hits. So let's see. You were over here.
Rexar's going to tip his hat at him.
Okay. Ching Shi is up off the map. I would say that you can hit anybody on the map that you want. Because you've got that sniper rifle.
Indeed. And
I mean, you can move like, what it was slow band. Where are my vehicle bands?
so I was briefly distracted. Is that guy still running away?
No, he took a shot at Captain Beth.
Okay. Then since Captain Beth looks like she's going to cover Keith, I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay.
Okay. Eight. 10.
That is a hit with a +2 to damage. And what's the... So, Gauss sniper rifle is what you're using?
It's a Gauss sniper rifle, TL-12 AP6.
Okay.
$21.
Eesh. Okay. Oh my God. So Rexar, you see a hold on. Sorry, my my Roll20 is acting weird. I don't know what the deal is. You see this guy's you hear you see the guy's head explode, and he goes down, and like a split second after you see his head explode, then you hear the rifle go off. So his head goes pop, and you're cacao off in the distance.
Hell yes.
Um,
And then, since I can fly for my movement,
Uh-huh.
can I move also to cover Keith? Or I kind of want to move to cover Beth so that Beth can treat Keith.
Right. So actually, you're with your armor, you can travel 50 to 100 kilometers per hour. So each turn is each round is 6 seconds. So 10 rounds to a minute. Which would mean
Means I could go 5 kilometers
in one turn.
in one turn. I believe 50 kilometers an hour
Right.
would mean, no, that would mean 5 in a minute. So, what is that? Like, not quite 100, 90 something, 85. I think 83.
So
actually.
mark down on your sheet somewhere, or make a note that with your armor, your gravity belt allows you to move, we'll say, 85 kilometers per turn,
85 meters per turn.
or 85 meters per turn as a
I'd
minor
like to
action.
move 85 kilometers.
Yeah, 85 kilometers. Yeah. Hold on.
Well, the problem with that is stopping.
Right.
I'll just like go through the enemy, just like fly through them.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, you can do
Put a spike on my helmet and just
85 kilometers in 6 seconds. However, everything inside the suit of armor is now going to be gelatin.
right. Just call me the narwhal as I impale everyone as I go by.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna fly like right. This is probably gonna be a terrible idea, but I don't care. Like right here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that was your minor action.
Enough to decide that if Beth wants to shoot, she can. But if she wants to administer healthcare, she can.
Okay. And we're back to Captain Beth.
Let's administer the healthcare.
Okay. Well, first you're gonna have to check his insurance card. Oh, sorry, Keith. She can't help you.
You don't
I think I'm Kaiser. Oh shit.
Yeah. Why did you pick Kaiser? So, go ahead. So this is going to be a first aid check. Man, like I said, we've never been this close to somebody dying yet. So
I see like medic, but I don't see first aid anywhere.
So medic is it's part of that. So medic with a medic check. First aid is average 8+ medic check, and the patient will regain lost characteristic points equal to the effect. So here's the other thing that I double checked on, and I am guilty of this. So after your endurance is gone, you have to pick either strength or dexterity. You can't divide the damage between the two. It has to be one or the other. I'm going to rule that medic would be the same way. So the first thing that this is going to do is, I would say, probably go to his strength stat. Well, have you taken dex damage?
1 point.
So 1 point would, anything that would do for first aid, 1 point will go to dex. The rest will go to strength.
Okay.
So Captain Beth, go ahead and make a medic plus intellect check. Or EDU, whichever.
$13.
Okay.
I smacked
So
it.
you get 1 point to dex and 4 points to your strength. So what is your
Cool.
strength's maximum?
My strength stat is 9.
Okay. So he is still in a very bad way. You've at least staunched the bleeding. He is no longer unconscious, but he's going to need surgery. I mean, he is just riddled with bullet holes.
Do you
And-
think me cauterizing the wounds is what woke him up?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to give you the nerve deadening agent. All right. So that was your minor action and your significant action. The merc deputy is like, he can see the writing on the wall here. He's going
He's
to...
gonna commit seppuku.
Yes, he's going to fall on his Gauss rifle. He's going to run this way, and he is going to take a shot. How far is this? Oh, yeah. He's going to take a shot at Rexar. I mean, yes, there is the sniper woman in the recon battle dress, and yet he is still more concerned about the 7-foot-tall cat. Ew, that's ugly. He misses Rexar with a 5. Rexar, you're standing there and like burst fire. This guy goes, "Rip," and you see the wall behind you. There's splinters flying over you. It's like he shot all the way around you. Like there's like a bullet hole silhouette of you in the wall.
Is there a bullet hole in my hat?
Yes, there's a bullet hole in your hat.
Bastard.
Keith, you are awake, prone. What would you like to do?
Am I still getting first aid applied, or am I?
Yeah, that's probably true. So it says first aid takes 1d rounds. So
Oh, shit.
till the end of this round and next round, you will be having first aid applied to you.
Okay.
So, I guess you sit there and get bandaged
So
up.
much more realistic than, like Dungeons and Dragons. This is,
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. She's sitting there stuffing tampons in bullet holes. I bet most people don't realize that that's what the original purpose of the tampon was. It was created during World War I as a quick way to staunch blood loss from bullet wounds. Seriously.
I know the guy that discovered the modern usage for tampons was like yelling it from every rooftop, like, hey, you can do this
Yeah.
and go wherever you want. Nobody wanted to hear it. So it was kind of like, they're like, ew, what?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that came out of that war. Like, the tampons were used to staunch blood flow from bullet wounds. The other thing that came out is super glue. Super glue was used to seal up wounds on the battlefield rather than stitching, because it was just faster. But if you've ever put super glue on a cut, you know how unfun that is, because it stings.
It's great together, or you're in for a bad time.
Yeah, it stings. So Keith's getting bandaged up. Rexar, what would you like to do? Are you muted, Rexar?
Yes. I'll use my Yggdrasil assault rifle, then take a shot at this guy.
Okay.
That's an 8.
That just hits. However, your rifle also jams. It'll take a minor action on your next turn to, you could use your minor action this turn to unjam it if you wanted to. But yeah, go ahead and roll your damage.
Seven.
That does not get through his armor. So did you want to move this turn, or do you want to unjam your rifle?
Unjam my rifle.
Okay. Ching Shi, what would you like to do?
I would like to shoot him.
Go for it.
That's more like it. 11, 12, 14.
Oof. Okay. He takes 1 point.
Okay, so that's 6 plus 5d. So it's 14 to hit.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. 8, 9, 10.
So that's
Yeah,
to
that's
add 6.
that is correct, and he will take 1 point of damage no matter what.
Okay. $26.
Eesh. All right. Oh, wait. He can't take that. He is not dead, but he is unconscious. And he goes down. So, Beth is still bandaging up Keith. Ching Shi, this guy that is unconscious, he's laying on the ground, kind of, gurgling. And he says, you can hear, attached to his armor is a radio transceiver. Now, The difference between a radio transceiver and a mobile comm is that a radio transceiver has massive amounts of much further range. And you can hear that there are calls coming to his radio transceiver requesting an update on the situation.
Everything's great. No problem here. We're good. Thank you.
He's not responding because he's more concerned about the fact that he's almost dead. Now, I believe what the original plan was to get Keith back to the ship and low berth him. Well, you're not really going to want to do surgery. There's a couple of reasons why you're not going to want to do surgery. One is that the Harrier doesn't have a dedicated med bay. That might be an upgrade that you might want to look at in the future. Instead, your common area where you all eat, that table is kind of used as a triage area. So
You're gonna give fast or slow drug, whatever one makes sense.
well, and you can't really do that either. The slow drug because it requires a med bay with cryogenic facilities. So you don't have either of those things. What you could do is, I mean, he's stable now. He's going to need surgery. I don't know that he's going to be stable for an entire week, though. So what you could do is you could stick him in a low berth, leave, and make the jump to Yggdrasil and request use of their hospital at Yggdrasil.
All right.
If we can jump, I mean, isn't the ship landlocked?
That's part of the problem. So
Yeah, I was thinking maybe they have better medical shit on this guy's ship too. I think we should try and get in his ship and see what's in there, and if nothing else, try and break the landlock.
So up here, just off the map, is this modular cutter. He does not have better medical gear. It looks the module that is in this cutter is designed basically as a troop transport with like a small field command center in it. Who's going into that module to check things out? I mean, obviously Beth and Keith are occupied, so I guess Rexar and Qingxi?
Yeah, I'm happy to go, but Rexar, you can go. I'll keep watch.
So, both of you make recon plus intellect checks.
$11.
What did Rexar get?
Sorry, I'm back. I spilled soup all over my keyboard.
Oh yeah, that's always a good time.
Oh no.
What did I do?
Make a recon plus intellect check. You know, your keyboard might work better if it's alphabet soup.
Wait, roll recon. I'm very good at that.
Recon plus intellect.
I don't like this website anymore. Goodbye, everyone. That's a 4. 2 natural ones.
Rexar accidentally pokes his own eye out.
You're just a little rusty, man. That's all that's happening.
Yep. So Qingxi, you and Rexar go, and Rexar's like, it's a spaceship. And you look inside, and you notice that on this command console, sitting on a side table next to this communications and sensors array, is a leather and brass briefcase. And it is open, And inside this briefcase is some sort of mobile computer. And it's plugged into this command console.
Sweet. Boop, 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 beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, beep. I'm not actually touching any keys. I'm just making that sound as I'm looking at it.
Go ahead and make a...
I do have computers, +1.
Yeah, go ahead and make a computers plus either intellect or education check.
Is anyone who is not currently leading out have higher than +1 for computers?
I got
Maybe
0.
not.
Because I could very easily just come out and be like, hey, look, I found a computer thing. I'll stick my finger in that bullet hole. You try and boot it up.
Rexar knows where the on button is.
Yeah, I got a 0 on computers.
Okay. All right. So you said computers plus intellect.
Yes.
Let's see. 5, 6. Oh, I think I just made it 8.
Okay. So you have been able to identify this this briefcase. You believe that this is the culprit. This is the landlock system.
Okay.
And when you fiddle around with it, it flashes up. The top insert back piece of this briefcase is the screen. There is a keyboard and like a little thumb style joystick. And then there is a flat pad, almost looks like a trackpad, but it has an outline of a hand. And when you fiddle around with this, it comes up and it flashes on the screen, activate biometrics to unlock.
Sweet. So I'll go over to, let's see, who is in charge?
So the Hiram Newt, this guy here, was in charge.
Can we CPR him to simulate a heartbeat or something on the corpse?
No, he's like missing his head from like his nipples up. So
Yeah, but I still have a hand.
yes, you do have a hand.
I'll take it over there. I'm gonna go over here. Do.
You're just gonna
And just
cut a hand off.
Screen.
All right.
Rex are a big axe.
Yeah.
That would be.
Yeah, it's probably faster for Rexar to do it.
Well, if it works, we'll chop off his hand and take it with us.
Okay, so Rexar cuts off.
Like, we might as well try it once before we try and cut his hand off.
He wants to make sure that he doesn't screw anything up, so he just cuts the arm off from the elbow down, and he he cuts it off, and of course, in full Rexar fashion, he holds the arm up and waves at you with it. I got the hand.
Do you need a hand with that?
So yeah, you take this guy's hand, put it on the scanner, and it unlocks this briefcase computer. And the system is very simple. It is giving an ID for your ship that is currently landlocked. You've never seen this ID before, but evidently this is the Sindalian serial code for your ship.
Oh, sweet.
And from that point, you have full access. You can shut it down.
Is there any way to change the security on it now that it's opened up to, let's say, Captain's hand?
Yes, you could do that.
Because if we're on a planet and we have to leave the ship, it'd be real handy for Captain to be like, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop, and then it's landlocked until we want it to fly again.
You could do that, yes.
That's like the equivalent of a key fob. Boop, boop. As we
Yeah,
go away.
if a key fob was a briefcase, but yeah.
I'll fashion it into a handsome backpack or something like that. It'll be fine.
What was that, Rexar?
Would we want to do that to your hands, though, because you're the pilot?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got your hand there to like set it up to, you know.
I mean, theoretically, I mean, when you're looking at this, it looks like you could add a number of people to unlock. You can add up to 5 people.
Okay, then yeah, I'd like to set the whole crew to be able to unlock it.
Okay.
And also, it would be good for us to keep in mind that any future Sandalian ships we encounter, if we could figure out their serial numbers, we could landlock them.
So if this part of what this device does, the what you have noted is that it can't really operate on its own. It has to be plugged in to a communications array, and it has to be plugged into a sensors array. But if it's plugged into those two things, the sensors array, it goes out, and if there's a Sandalian ship, it will scan that ship and get its ID code.
Oh, sweet. Even better.
This is known as a Sandalian Emperor's box.
Okay. Yeah, so I'd like to set it so that everyone can lock and unlock the ship.
Okay. All right. And so you guys are going to throw Keith into the icebox.
Smelly cow lovers.
Yes.
Hopefully we hosed one out.
No, you've got regular low berths. In fact, we'll show you. Oh my God, I'm getting so many maps in here. I'll go ahead and clean this up and get it out of my way. So, low berths, I believe are down in cargo. Here they are. So these upright coffin things are the low berths. Oh, you know what, Keith? Those points that I gave you that told you to put them back to strength.
Yes.
Don't put them to strength. Put them to your endurance.
Okay.
So what does that make your endurance?
It was 4
Okay.
points, so I get 4 points.
So it
to
is
endurance.
at a -1. Okay. I need to look something up here. I had this all figured out 2 weeks ago, but now I forgot. There we go. They're sending me on a hunt. Okay, so the good news is your ship, I believe, is TL12 or higher. It is, it's TL15. So, that's good news for Keith, because when you get to Yggdrasil, Well, we'll go through that here in just a moment. So, the first thing, Ching-Shi, go ahead and make a go ahead and make a piloting plus dex check. We're gonna take off. Routine check.
13.
Oh yeah. So, Ching-Shi lifts off as soon as you get Keith, or as you're getting Keith secured into the low berth. She lifts off, and this magnificently beautiful ship heads up towards orbit, and then she immediately heads towards the actually 90 diameter limit, because the Capri Sun has early jump. Doesn't have to go full 100 diameters. While you're traveling to the diameter or to the limit, Ching-Shi, go ahead and make a astrogation check.
Here. 11.
Okay. Hold on, I'm looking. Well, shit. So I failed you and did not copy down this or did not do an image for this ship. I could have sworn that I did though, but anyways. Hold on here. So, Captain Beth, you come back up onto the bridge. Beth, make a electronic sensors check. Electronic sensors plus intellect or EDU.
Yeah, 8. Didn't do so hot.
Well, that is enough. You see, coming around the far side of the planet in a retrograde orbit, you see a very large ship. And your computer screen immediately pops up that this is a mercenary cruiser. Man, I could have sworn I did this, but I must have screwed up. Anyways, it comes up on screen. Standard configuration for this thing is 800 tons. It's quite a bit bigger than the Capri Sun. And your sensors are picking up that this thing is bristling with weapons. It has 8 triple turrets on it. This is clearly Hiram Newt's ship.
But they're mercenaries?
They are mercenaries.
Okay.
But they're gonna be kind of pissed off that you killed their colonel.
But he was a douchebag. Won't they be, like, happy?
Maybe. I don't know. Kind of the whole deal kind of hinged on him. So I'm thinking that this may result in them not getting paid anything more than their hazard pay. And these guys probably won't even get hazard pay because they weren't on the planet's surface during the action. So
We can fix that.
Yeah, how much to hire a giant ship full of mercenaries?
a lot.
I just meant we could shoot at them, and then they would have hazard pay.
Well, yeah.
But yours is more amiable. Your method is probably more productive.
It just depends on if we're wealthy enough. Probably aren't, but maybe.
Right.
Well, I mean, they are. They have not noticed you.
Whew. All right.
Thanks to your stealth tech.
Cool. Okay, good. But I don't know. Yeah, that's plan A, is to see if we can hire them, because I'm sure there's some shit that they could do for Drinax, or just not murder us. And then plan B is to get in a fight, I guess.
Okay.
Well, like I said, they haven't noticed you. You don't have to radio them.
Right, we can just try and... Are we within the limit? Or have we made it to the jump limit?
Not yet. In fact, it's going to take you to get to the 90 diameter limit. It's going to take you. Hold on, let me look at spacecraft operations. They used to have travel times in here. Yeah, it's going to take you probably about almost 2 days. That's,
So do we want to radio?
oh, here we go. Transit time.
Skadoodle.
Transit times, common distances. So, so from the surface to orbit took you 1,414 seconds. That's weird. This is a different table than they used to have. I guess it's not that bad. It's probably gonna. It's. Oh yeah, no. It's gonna take you about 48.1 hours at 2G. So if you could just, stay stealthy, don't use any active sensors or comms, you should be good for 2 days. The last thing that you see before these guys start to become a very small dot in your rearview mirror is you do see them launch another modular cutter to go down to the surface of the planet. Now, all they're going to find down there is a bunch of dead guys. There is one guy who's unconscious, but it'll probably take a while for him to be able to talk. Who wants to make the engineering power systems check? Now, technically, AX-57 could do that.
Do it, AX-57. I command you.
Oh, well.
Do you have the stats for AX-57?
Yeah.
I think I do.
So, you want to roll for him? Since you're in a coma. Whatever.
So it's engineering 3.
Woo.
Yeah, so roll 2D and add 3 to it.
So that is, that's 10.
Nice. So AX-57 is able to transfer the power to the jump drive, and then who wants to make engineering jump drive check? Maybe also AX-57? I don't know. Let me see.
Probably.
I don't have jump drive. Or
Yeah,
no,
I just have generic engineering at 0.
I actually did put a point in J drive at some point.
Okay.
Like for this next situation.
So you could make a engineering J drive plus intellect or education check, and you can add 4 to that.
Okay, I rolled 2 6s, so I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, no problem. You guys are able to jump, thus spending the next week in jump space. With Keith just, chilling out. when you come out of jump, I have a picture for this. It's not really a map, it's just a really big picture.
Ooh. It's pretty.
So the first and most noticeable thing about Yggdrasil, oops, that's a little too far, there we go, is that, so you come out of jump and immediately your passive scans start picking up a lot of other ships, and most of these are really big. You pick up a couple of Gazelle class escorts. There is actually a colonial cruiser here. There are a number of large, like in the 200,000 ton range, bulk freighters. This is clearly the end of the line for shipping convoys. So there's a lot of traffic here. Your sensors also pick up a very interesting trait that you haven't run into before, is that Yggdrasil has a space elevator. And there is a carbon a carbon nanotube, that goes down to the surface of the planet, and the counterweight in orbit around this planet is actually the Golden Queen's palace.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. She's got good taste.
I mean, the whole thing just seems extremely ostentatious. I mean, the idea of the idea of a space elevator in the modern day and age with gravitics and whatnot, I mean, you can create artificial gravity. Why have a space elevator? It's all a thing for show. And this space elevator's been here since the Sindalian Empire. So this is their high port. And the ships dock, and then any freight that goes down to the planet's surface is ferried down via trains that go down the carbon nanotube to the planet's surface. You're immediately receiving communications. Well, maybe you're not. Hold on. Yeah, you are. So it's really difficult to hide the radiation burst of somebody coming out or going into drive space or jump space. So you're receiving communications requesting identity. A lot of the ships are pinging around you are actually Imperial ships. These are Third Imperium cruisers. This is their trade line, more or less. And you're receiving a number of communications requesting, identification, intentions, et cetera, et cetera. What is your destination? Blah, blah, blah.
We need a hospital perform surgery.
Oh.
White coat. Explain it to them.
Make a persuasion plus your choice, either charm or social.
8.
Okay. The response that you get back is the Golden Queen doesn't usually allow just anybody to use hospital services on the palace.
But I have Medic 3. I'm a world famous doctor.
Well, something to remember is that you guys aren't just here. You're not pirates today. you are representatives of the Kingdom of Drinax.
Oh shit! I should have said that.
I mean, you can. You can say, you know.
But do we want to? Because Drinax doesn't recognize her authority.
That's why you're coming here. The whole reason that
exactly like, hey, we need a hospital to save one of our crewmates. BTW, our boss doesn't like you.
the whole
Hospital now.
so
We're here because it's better to say, look, we have a medical emergency with a famous physician who's in desperate need of facilities, and then once we get that taken care of, then be like, and by the way, none of this is yours.
So yeah, I mean, the whole purpose of originally needing to go to Yggdrasil was to do flag waving, and basically in a subtle but not so subtle way, you know, tell her that, you know, she's not really the Empress of Sindal in exile. That title belongs to King Oleb of Drinax. You know, but do it, you know, politely, wearing dress uniforms and whatnot.
Let's get what we need from her first.
Well, I mean, you can request hospital services for an agent of the Kingdom of Drinax.
Yeah, that's important. Let's do it. We'll say we're here for diplomacy. Also, there's emergency. Yeah.
Go ahead and make another persuasion check, plus either social or charm, and you can make that with a boon. So roll 3 and take the 2 highest.
That gives me 12.
Okay. There's a kind of a pause. You almost think that maybe there's some snickering in the background through the static, and then you hear them say that you are cleared to dock, and they give you docking bay 42, and on the elevator. And as soon as you dock, there are medical teams ready. So now, because the ship is Teal 12 or higher, that means that there is a +1 attached to this roll. Unfortunately, it is canceled out by the -1 that Keith has for endurance. So, Captain Beth, you're waking up your patient from low berth. You need to make a it's a routine medic check plus intellect with a +0 net.
I got 9.
Oh, well, no problem. And so this takes about 10 minutes, and you are able to get Keith up and into the gurney, and they're going to rush him to the hospital. Or are you insisting on going as his doctor? Or are you going to let them take care of him?
Fuck it up. Like, that would be.
Okay, so you rush to the hospital with Keith. What is Rexar and Ching Shi doing? Are you also going to the hospital?
I don't know. What are our orders?
You guys should get a meal at this place. Look at it. It's going to be awesome. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can do a little, I don't know, carousing, hear what the word on the street is, see how the people like their clean.
Are you dressing up, or are you going? Are you slumming it?
I don't know. I feel like are we red? Did you already say, Captain? Did you already say that we're delegates?
Yes.
From Drinax, so that's known. Then I would say dress up.
Okay. So.
But I don't know. What do you think, Rexar? What do you think?
I will put my nicest tuxedo.
Wait, oh, I couldn't hear.
I said I will put on my nicest tuxedo.
The nicest tuxedo, awesome.
So you guys have you found Sandalia. This is way back. I think when we first started playing, you guys found some lockers full of Sandalian uniforms. I'm sure in the amount of time that has gone past that there has been some dress uniform modifications made to fit Rexar.
I do now have +1 in art, so maybe that includes fashion design.
Patchwork everywhere. There's like stapled bits of uniform together.
Yes. Yeah.
New sewing montage.
It's more of like a dress toga, really. But so you guys get dressed up, and these are like white uniforms with gold and red piping, and I mean they are really quite fancy. You have a number of medals and campaign ribbons that you found that have nothing to do with you, but you can wear them if you'd like. And you two head off to find, I assume, a bar or tavern of some type. Or cantina.
A generic bar.
Not this dressed up. I don't want to go to a bar if we're this dressed up.
A bar? Both of you can make a carouse plus social check. Or now, in this case, I guess it would be carouse plus either intellect or EDU.
Oh, good.
See if that's worse than 9.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
10.
So Rexar finds a place. It is a spacer bar. It's a spacer bar called the Spinning Top. Ching Shi, you find a higher end establishment that seems quite hoity-toity. They cater to high-end liquors, cigars, that kind of thing. And it's called the Queen's Gambit. So which one would you guys like to go to?
Well, I didn't put makeup on for nothing. So I want to go to the fancy pants place.
Okay. What about Rexar?
So that I can do a fancy pants dance.
Okay.
Unless Rexar has a particular affinity for the spacer bar, in which case that's fine.
I'll follow you. I trust you.
Okay. So you guys go to the Queen's Gambit. Meanwhile, at the hospital, so this is the area around the hospital, with this picture here being the med bay.
This looks great.
Yes, this is TL-15 high-tech stuff. So, you get Keith sedated and ready for his surgery. Gotta look at medic again. Here we go. Encounters and dangers. Healing. All right, so Beth, make a Sorry, kitten. Make a medic plus education or intellect check for surgery. And it is an average check.
We got 15.
Which is good. So here's the thing with surgery. So if the check is failed, the patient loses more characteristic points equal to 3 plus the effect. So if your doctor doesn't know what they're doing, they're like, hey, hello, everybody, and they start carving you up, you could die because you took more points. So, Keith, you get 7 points back.
I get 7?
Yes. So they should go to endurance first, and then to strength.
I did some extra nips and tucks for fun.
Yeah, he's got boobs now.
What an improvement!
We could, well, we've used boobs to our advantage in the past, so maybe it is an improvement. We think we can stun them when we show our boobs, when Keith shows his. They'll be really stunned.
Be like that episode of Futurama where they have to attach Fry's head to Amy's body. Hey, I control this side. So, let's see. Does that max out your endurance?
It maxes out my endurance, and I have 3 strength now.
Okay. So, now we get to look at the slow drug. Page 81.
I got fast and slow, and I can't ever remember which one makes sense for each situation.
Yeah. I think that they're the opposite of one another.
If you want them to go, if they need to be energized, you give them slow drug. And if you need them to be sedated, you give them fast drug.
Right. Fast drug, also called hibernation. This drug puts the traveler into a state akin to suspended animation, slowing his metabolic rate down to a ratio of 60-1. A subjective day for the traveler is actually 2 months. Fast drug is normally used to prolong life support reserves as a cheap substitute for cryobirth. So that's not the one that you want. You want slow.
Right. It's like it's named after the problem, not the solution.
Right, and here is why it.
So
this is why it requires cryogenic services. This is a variant of the metabolic accelerator. It can only be applied safely in a medical facility where life support and cryotechnology is available, as it increases the metabolism to around 30 times normal, allowing a patient to undergo a month of healing in a single day. Using this drug outside of a hospital or sick bay is a messy and painful way to commit suicide, as the traveler will rapidly cook his internal organs and suffer massive brain damage. So, having said that, so what's your endurance at now?
My endurance is at 8.
Okay. So you can roll 1d plus your endurance DM, and you can do that 4 times. And
1d?
Yeah, 1d6 plus your endurance DM. And roll that 4 times and add them all together.
Nine.
So you get back another 9 points. Does that completely heal up your? Does that replace all of your stats?
Yes, I am fully healed.
Okay, so that will take a day. Well, probably more than a day. Let's see.
Want to know what happens at the bar?
It doesn't look like it'll take much more than a day. So at the bar, and I don't really have a picture of the bar. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, I have a picture of the bar. So down here, this is what the interior of the Queen's Gambit looks like. It is exceptionally fancy. Everything's gilded. It all looks very old. Like these chairs that are sitting in the just off to the corners here, the fabric looks like it has had many asses sitting in it. Some of it is maybe frayed a little bit, but you can see in places where somebody has come and tried to stitch it up and repair it. You going to the Queen's Gambit, you notice this kind of behavior as you're going. You see on the walls sections that are like deck plating that is not the same color, or a section of bare metal that looks like it's just been welded into place on the wall, or things like that. And none of it looks like it is as good as the original. And so you get to this bar, you see that there are a number of noble-like individuals standing around, all in fancy dress, smoking pipes, smoking cigars, drinking high-end, top-shelf drinks. And there are like 3 waiters and waitresses moving about the crowd with trays. And then you see that there is a small bar on one side, like over here. And you see that there is actually a robot behind the bar that is offering, drinks to anybody who comes up. What would Rexar and Qingxi like to do?
What do you think, Rexar?
Rexar is walking towards the robot and orders his finest milk.
The robot, the head can be stationary, and the center torso can rotate 180 degrees. And you see the head turn to look at the bottles, and then just kind of go back and look at Rexar like, what? And then go back to, yep, he comes back with a big cold glass of milk.
Rexar laughs at it.
Okay.
What do you think we should do, Qingxi?
I will just also grab a drink and find a seat that has my back against the wall toward the crowd and people watch.
Okay. So you and Rex are kind of stand off to the side, or just kind of people watching. Both of you make recon plus intellect checks. And you can make those checks with a boon.
Roll 3, take the highest, right?
Yep. Roll 3, take the 2 highest.
14.
Nice.
9.
Okay. So, Rexar, you see something very peculiar. You see that there is a short, spindly little alien. Well, at first you think it's an alien. Then you realize that no, it's really more of like a modified human. But when I say short, he's like 5 feet tall. And he's bald, and his head is actually quite large. It almost not quite like a cone head, but that kind of, that kind of situation. He's bald, he's got a big head. He's wearing like bright floral clothing, like a robe, like a bright pinkish lavender robe. Next to him is another, what you at first think must be an alien, but it's not. It looks like you realize it's a modified human. And this guy is like 6'6", and you swear his shoulders are almost as big around, or almost as wide as he is tall. And you see like his upper body strength. His upper arms are as big around as Rexar's thighs. This guy is beefy. You see them. You see the big guy isn't saying much. And a couple of times you notice that he has a tendency to sometimes pick his nose. The short guy is having a conversation with a gentleman that is wearing some form of dress naval uniform. But you haven't seen this type of uniform before. And he's got, the full regalia. He's got a saber and all the fruit salad on his jacket, the whole bit. Ching Shi, you look around the room, and you not only do you spot that, but you spot that there are a number of high-ranking Third Imperium naval officers in here. And when I say high-ranking, I mean the lowest rank that you see in here is like commander. Higher than that, you're talking captains, maybe possibly an admiral. You see some high-end people in here. All of them are in dress uniforms. They're in the Imperial Navy's crimson red dress uniform. What would you guys like to do? Continue to people watch, or?
Well, I was gonna go saunter up to the 6'6" dude until he started picking his nose, and then I was like, well, never mind. That's a hard pass now.
Yeah, and I can think of no possible way that you would think that the 6'6" guy is in any way attractive.
I don't know. I mean, 6'6" and arms as thick as Rexar sounds not terrible.
Yeah,
But anyway, I don't really know how to proceed. I don't want to just start talking. I'm a cards to my chest kind of gal, so I don't really want to start talking about my business. But I feel like we'll have to get the ball rolling.
Hold on a second. I need another tab. Need to look something up. Treasure reach. That. Okay. Okay. So I'm sorry. So I'm sorry. What were you thinking of doing there, Ching Chi?
I don't know. I was saying I'm not big on walking up to someone and being like, "Hi, we oppose the leader here. What's new?" Because I feel like no one really needs to know that. But I realize that I probably have to do something along those lines, or we have to do something along those lines to get the ball rolling.
Yes. Well, not necessarily. So, sauntering up to you, to both of you, is A gentleman, and I kind of use that term lightly, in Imperial Naval dress uniform, and he introduces himself, and he's a young guy. I mean, he looks, if he's barely 30 years old, you're shocked. He might be older than that. I mean, medicine being what it is. But he introduces himself as Vice Admiral Crond. He says, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. You're clearly of a pocket empire's navy in this region. May I ask who you are affiliated with?
We are contractors for the Kingdom of Drinax.
Oh, I was unaware that Drinax had their own navy. Very smart-looking uniforms.
Well, thank you.
So, guys,
both of you can make, go ahead and make recon plus social, or either, recon plus social checks.
11.
Oh, I think you did better than me. Yeah, I only got 9.
Only because of my nose.
So, with your nose, Rexar, this guy smells like a lot of perfume, and both of you kind of realize that this kid, he's basically a wealthy idiot. Neither of you think that he got whatever rank that he says he's a vice admiral. You don't think that he got that by climbing. He didn't start out as an ensign. His daddy got him into this position, clearly. In the minor amount of conversation that you have with him, he clearly has very little command experience. It seems like he has no idea of anything going on in the Trojan Reach. He does make the comment that he hasn't been given a ship or flotilla to command yet, but he looks forward to the day that they give him a ship, because he plans to come into the Trojan Reach and put an end to piracy.
That sounds like a great plan, little buddy.
Good luck with all the forts of Aslan pirates out there.
What was that?
I said, I wish you luck. There are lots of Aslan pirates out there who are twice the size of me.
And he says, no offense, but I plan to take the fight to them.
So very brave. And you smell like way too much Axe body spray.
Reaver's Axe body spray. He also says he looks over at the short guy and the 6'6" dude, and he says, have you met the Florian ambassador yet?
We haven't had the pleasure. I hope I don't have to shake his hand.
He says, as far as I've been able to gather, so you are aware, when he says Florian ambassador, you've never met a Florian before. He is referring to the short guy, and you're aware that there is what would be called a pocket empire, quite a bit larger than Drinax. Like, these guys are pretty large. There's a pocket empire called the Florian League. And essentially, all those trade ships that are coming up the Sindalian Main, the Yggdrasil is their endpoint, because they're shipping they're trading stuff with the Florian League and then going back down the main. So all those ships that you're pirating usually are traveling that main. The really big ones, the ones that have the best loot, are either going to or coming from the Florian League. And so he tells you, he goes, yes, such a strange setup, these Florians. So they evidently, Florian, their home world, evidently was a gigantic and still active ancient site. And he says they were, the ancients bioengineered them. There are the Barkai, that's the short ambassador, who are intelligent and capable of governing and things of that nature. And then there are the Feskals. That's the brutish ogre standing next to him. They're used for labor. They apparently have a perfect relationship with one another. The Feskals are not quite as intelligent, but the brutes are good at labor, and they seem to have a good system. I've never been very far into the Florian League, so I'm not sure myself, but that's what I hear. How many drinks are you going to have?
I always roll too badly and overdo it, so I'm going to be nursing my one.
Okay.
Because otherwise I'm going to be barfing in a plant nearby very quickly.
Going to meet the Golden Queen with a hangover.
Yeah, no thank you. I will ask the up-and-comer if he's had the pleasure of having audience with the Queen.
He says, oh, no, but I've been told that she's planning an audience tomorrow afternoon, and there's supposed to be a ball afterwards.
Oh, that sounds lovely. How does one get invited?
He reaches into his uniform and pulls out his mobile comm, and he looks at the list and he says, oh, well, it says here that representatives of the Kingdom of Drinax are already to be in attendance.
Oh, color me happy.
Very good.
And about the time that he tells you that, like a few seconds later, all of your mobile comms receive this invitation to meet with the Golden Queen on the following day.
So hopefully Keith feels better by then. Hurry up and feel better, Keith. You just got out of surgery. It's time to party.
That's right.
Oh, right.
He comes in a walker. Yep, I'm good.
You can rally.
Yeah, Vice Admiral Cron asks you, he says, so being contractors for the Kingdom of Drinax, I mean, have you been in the Trojan Reach long?
I don't know how long we've been in the show.
It's been a little over a year.
We're very
Yeah,
different.
we've been here, there, and everywhere.
Says, I imagine you have some great stories about dealing with pirates.
We do have great stories about dealing with pirates.
We hate pirates so much. Their blood stains my blades.
And then, as Rexar says that, I'm going to stifle laughter.
Well, let me see if he picks up on that. He does not. He
Pretty dumb.
he starts laughing with you. Oh yeah, I bet those are some. Oh man, I can't wait to get out there and put the hammer down to those pirates.
Yep, I just lather myself in cologne like you do, and I chase the pirates. That's yep. Great laugh.
And what kind of ship do you have to defeat these pirates?
Well, I'm hoping that they're going to fit me out with one of the best ships available.
So you don't have a ship right now?
No, not yet. But it's coming.
How does
Could you guys make up something really misleading to tell them about pirates? That would be funny.
The tip about pirates. All pirates walk backwards. So I don't know. What would be a good misleading tip about pirates?
here?
He tells
Why
you.
don't they go after you?
He tells you that he says, don't let this get around. But I've heard rumor that they're going to give me command of the 198th Punitive Flotilla, which means my flagship will be the Eurisco, a Planet class heavy cruiser, 75,000 tons.
I must ask you, how many battles and notable deeds have you done to earn such a prestigious rank?
Says, well, I scored quite highly in the academy.
Okay, that's good, but how many fights have you been in? Have you felt the life leaving your enemies as you choke them to death?
Make a carouse plus charm check.
Three.
He kind of gets a little blushed and kind of pulls at his collar like it's getting hot in here, and he goes, well, I haven't actually been to the front lines yet, but I know what I'm doing.
Oh, then you must prepare. The front lines are very mentally stressful. I've seen Aslan torn to pieces, disintegrated, and skull split into several pieces. I wish you good luck on your leading and academy training.
Make another carouse check, and you can make it with a boon.
Eight.
He looks at you and he goes, well, I believe I have a long morning tomorrow, so I'm going to turn in for the night. Both of you, please have a good time at the ball, and perhaps we will meet again. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your names.
I guess so. We've already announced ourselves.
And so he quickly exits the Queen's Gambit as he's kind of been caught in a gaffe. We will go ahead and break here. And next week, we will pick up with all of you going to have a meeting with the Queen and to the Queen's ball.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good job healing up Keith. It's good to have Rexar back.
Yes.
Nobody died.
And nobody died.
Take care.
Have a good night, guys.